Demon, what are you expecting today?
Let's go full troll. Let's just put the ice rod on the pedestal with a turtle rock crystal. Let's just get it over with.
Ooh, you are an evil, evil person.
Usually. And it looks like we're off. We've got 2 starting with 10 arrows inside of Link's house and the small key found inside of Sanctuary. We have an immediate map check. It looks like we have Red Pendant in Eastern. It looks like Crystal 6 is in Desert.
And Crystal 4 being on Tower of Hera.
Looks like we have hearts for the small pool on the tree. We have in the top DarkShadows setting up Houlihan, while Ozzy's going to go ahead and take the standard Kakariko route and give us some knowledge up that direction.
Uncle having 50 rupees.
With his last will and testament, he gives you what little fortune he has left.
And a green rupee on the Aga ledge.
Oh, now they have to do Aga 1. So we have Ozzy heading into Lost Woods. We're going to go ahead and get to see what's sitting in here as well as what's in the Thieves' Cave. Just some bombs. Good to have. Not going to have to worry about farming for any or purchasing any at least. Definitely not something you want to see outside about the first 4 minutes of the game, though.
Ooh, and half magic.
That'll be really nice to see once they actually find something to use it on. So we have DarkShadows heading in next to Lake Hylia to pick himself up some spare bombs. I wonder if he's going to try to go down to the... Oh, he's going to set up here. I was thinking he might actually go down and do the dam and the mini Moldorm cave first, which would be a very interesting routing decision.
Especially with only bombs.
Ozzy checking out Blind's house. We got a big 20, piece of heart. 10 arrows. And 300 rupees. Just one chest left here in the back. As Samura picks up half magic, we have Ozzy picking up 10 more arrows from the back as mfFylion picks up his half magic as well. Looks like Blind was greedy for us today, but not much else of use, unfortunately.
See a bottle in the lake.
And strangely deciding to pass it up this early. I mean, it does unlock Sick Kid when you haven't found anything else. Just a bomb upgrade so far in the well. I believe the first one was a full heart.
Blue mail.
Green mail, blue mail, and flippers. Very nice. We have Samura and mfFylion both going to go ahead and clean up their Blind's hut.
Vanilla bottle vendor.
Is this even randomized?
I don't know. Dark Shadow taking a death in the mini Moldorm cave.
That's the risk of going to number 3 hearts. Use a bomb to get some bombs for Ozzy inside the chicken coop. Heading into Sick Kid to distract him with a shiny bottle to take whatever good he's got. And it's the Quack Medallion.
Ooh. 1 down, 2 to go, possibly.
Distract him with a bottle, take his participation trophy.
Quarter heart in the tavern.
And nothing really outstanding so far, other than maybe the flippers and Kakariko to really try to guide them in what direction they're going to need to go on here. Although we are still yet to see what's going to be in library and in the race game. Fyllion picking up his B-Torp from the bottle vendor, instantly releasing it, attempting to sell it back. Unfortunately, it's not golden. Oh, we have a sword in the library. Somebody's been taking their weapons to read. Just a bomb upgrade on the race game. Looks like ozippone's going to pass that up here. Saving, quitting out to his house. At this point, where do you go? I mean, you're still just on bombs. Do you head over to Shaz and Eastern first instead, without having to deal with mini Moldorm's bomb only?
I would check Ice Cave and then go up to Hobo, and then check Waterfall Ferry.
That's very true. Looks like he's going to come down to Dam. Just going to check out the more item locations he can get here. Finally, getting a map check from Ozzy. Samura heading down to find out the bad news in the library. And Dark cleaning up his routing diversions here to start on Blind's Hut and the rest of Kakariko as well. Ozzy pulling on the dam. We'll see if he grabs another bottle. And he does decide to take it. You can never have too many bottles.
That's always true. Looks like Ozzy's going to use the B to kill the mini Moldorms.
Can't say I blame him. It's a pretty good idea. Unfortunately, Dark had passed up that bottle, so he doesn't get that chance. So we get to see what's in the back of Mini Moldorm. A lot of love and bombos. And a hammer.
Well, before things get too into it, I'm going to call early Dark World access very soon.
Definitely. We're not that far away from it, although, unfortunately, the major thing we're still really missing here is Moon Pearl, but we've got a lot of locations left to check. But the good news is, once you get into Mini Moldorm, you at least have a serviceable weapon now.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy finding just a heart piece up on Lake Hylia Island, heading over to the Hobo. Samura with bomb strats in the Mini Moldorm Cave. Dark getting his medallion while Samura picks up a second one.
Hobo only giving 20 rupees.
Well, I mean, he does live under a bridge. It's kind of a lot to ask for him to have more than that. Finally, cleaning up with a golden bee, about to be rewarded with another medallion and his hammer. Dark Shadow, interestingly enough, is going to go ahead and go pick up this bomb upgrade. Our first ice cave check from Samura, and just 50 rupees. So at this point, nobody's went over toward the Zora area yet, where they do have access to 3 more items. Haven't seen anybody. Well, I stand corrected. Ozzy now dipping in. Probably going to head down and check what's in the dungeon down in Hyrule Castle.
wonder if Ozzy will attempt escape in the dark.
It's always 50-50. I mean, with
the Moon Pearl.
Okay, then.
But you were saying it's always 50-50?
It's always 50-50 when you're dealing with, the secondary tournament. You're going to see a lot of different strategies than you would be accustomed to. So it's hard to tell. I mean, every racer is different with how comfortable they are with dark rooms. Some people can do some dark rooms, some people can do others. A lot of people have different taste on what's the hard ones and what's the easy ones. Like Hyrule is actually one of the harder ones for me because it's so hard to locate. And wow, off on the side of Hyrule Castle, we've got Ether, so no medallion worries here. Waterfall Fairy, kind of a bust, just some bombs and a big 20.
I wonder what Zora's Ledge will behold. Ooh, and just a quarter heart.
Yeah, unfortunately not with that 500. And we do find the map inside of Zelda's cell, so we do have an item in the dark. So at this point, Dark Shadow making a play over. Could we have our first check towards Shas's hut in Eastern? No. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here a little. That's pretty much one of the last places that we could really see something from at the moment with what progression they have.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
Got a lot of cleanup here of things the other racers have already checked. We got some Ice Cave from Ozzy, Dark check from Hobo, Samura coming down in and about to pick up a third medallion. We finally have a Shas's hut check from mfFylion. Oh, we have Green Pendant Turtle Rock. That's no, please.
Bug net.
Good safety to have, but it's still just a bug net. But with as many bottles as they've found so far, it's not going to be bad to be able to bottle up some fairies should it come to that. We have synchronized checks at the ledge, and no, Ozzy's going to pass on that. However, Dark Shadows does have the 500 and is going to go ahead and check Zora here. If Zora does have a progression item with as mediocre money as they've been seeing, this could be a good advantage for him.
One spot that just occurred to me that they haven't checked is the Agana Cave over in Desert.
Absolutely. We had Frog pointing that out. And we have Power Gloves. Definitely worth the 500.
So that we know where all the items are for Dark World accesses.
Yeah, Dark saving, quitting out to Sanctuary. Assume he's going to check the back of Escape. Now, the worst part about this, about them needing, if they actually, it is the gloves, and there's nothing inside of the first couple chests in Eastern, is the early flippers, if you didn't almost immediately do Hula Hand, you're stuck farming rupees. And with the glove being the item that's locked, you're going to be farming rupees probably in Blind's house, which is a really big feels bad.
Yeah. Does the logic in the randomizer take into account farming money from the Houlihan room?
Money farming is not actually taken into consideration in any method by the randomizer. If you need to do Zora, it's just, hey, go get money.
Interesting.
Samura going to do the back end dark here with only the hammer. It's kind of tricky.
The book on mfFylion.
Yeah, the book. That's going to be nice. That's going to open up desert partially to them.
We could at least see if it's boot locked.
No, it's just going to be another chest on the torch. Or another sword on the torch, rather. Samura trying to... Whoa, got it, and it's... I'm not sure. I think it's probably a piece of heart. Money? I didn't hear any rupees going off.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe even arrows.
Samura attempting to continue the sequence break to get to the back of escape here. mfFylion coming in to check big key chest. And it's just a piece of heart. Shadow's picking up his Moon Pearl. He now has Dark World access. And is our first runner to do so. It was a sword.
Oh.
Samura finds a sword in Dark Escape. That's not the first time in the last couple days I've seen it there. Doesn't find much of worth in the back of Escape, but hey, a sword is a sword. mfFylion's going to go ahead and turn on that book, go to Agna, and probably head into Desert to at least see what we're dealing with there. Now, if something's good is in Desert that they can get right now, this could be a nice play for them. However, we know from Dark Shadow that this is all just a big false runaround here because you can get Dark World access outside of the book from Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Shadow takes an intentional death there and heads out. And is also going to make the play on Dark Escape. And hopefully can get through and find the sword as well. Samura heading into Eastern. We'll go ahead and find a book for troubles in there. And assuming we'll probably brave the easier Dark Room in Eastern for a heart piece as well. Finally coming up and about to give us our big moment of truth on the knowledge here in the desert. Big key will keep the hopes alive. Ooh. But it's a little key on the torch. And the burrito in the big chest. So while Desert itself does not look to be boot locked, the item, at least one of the items in it is.
Now they could have taken that Campbell. Well, no, actually they couldn't. They don't have a fire source.
Yeah, unfortunately, no fire source as of yet. And seeing as how we know that one sword is boot blocked, one sword is lamp blocked. It's interesting to see where the first progression sword is going to be, or where the lamp does turn up. Samura having a little trouble in the room here, but manages to make it through and picks up a fairy, putting that bug net to use. Samura picks up the book. Dark Shadow headed over to Kakariko. Cannot help but think it's going to be a play on Village of Outcasts right now, putting a nice little gain on that advantage he already has.
Did Dark Shadow pick up the Moon Pearl though?
I believe so. Dark Shadow did clear out the bottom of Hyrule Castle and then Death Warp back out. Yeah, he has the Moon Pearl.
Okay.
We have Ozzy with a safe quit out, Fyllion cleaning up the bottom of Hyrule Castle. We have a check. So on top of the green turtle rock, we also have a pendant and mire. I didn't catch where the other 5 and 6 were. Samura completes a heart container and save and quits out of Eastern, while Dark Shadow's making the V26 play straight into Skullwoods.
Always a good play.
Just a big 20 in the first one. Still one item left, though. And sure enough, it looks like Ozzy's just finishing up, and we have Fyllion going down to start the Blind's House money grind. Also, as Chad was pointing out a little bit here, it's very interesting that we have a Dark Zelda versus Dark Link at the bottom. I really like that.
I didn't even think of that.
Didn't see what Dark Shadow picked up in that other chest in so far, but assuming he's continuing on, it must not have been an item. ozipone headed over to pick up the power gloves and probably not going to be a happy camper having just found those already. Dark Shadow unfortunately picking up the large key, continuing the backtracking quest within Skullwoods itself. Meanwhile, Samura heading into Schrodinger's Desert Palace. There may or may not be items, you don't know. Dark Shadow only on 2-3 hearts there, deciding not to try the bomb jump and just go the vanilla intended route. Can't say I blame him for that.
Let's see what's in the big chest. Oh, it's just a small key, though.
Quite unfortunate. So the second item is going to actually be blocked behind the fire rod, and we have a bomb jump back over. There we go.
Nice and clean.
Fyllion coming up here, going to go ahead and get a check on and pick up their power gloves, actually. Ozzy opting, instead of Village of Outcasts, to go what looks to be directly to Hype Cave. Got a big 20 on Bumper Cave Ledge.
Had a quick Dark World map check. I saw Crystal 5 was in Swamp.
Interesting. That leaves a lot of possibilities on what could be sitting inside the double-chested fairy here, being that it's just desert and swamp. Oh, we have a mirror. We have red mail.
Oh.
And a red boomerang. That's a decently hype cave.
That's pretty hype.
So Dark Shadow's back in, cleaning up the rest of the village of outcasts. Ozzy looks like I'm going to clean up some more of the south end of Dark World. At this point, I would almost consider... Oh, we have another sword upgrade in the bomb house.
So that should technically be our first sword upgrade.
Absolutely. So the first sword upgrade was in Village of Outcasts from having to clean up most of the Light World and farm rupees for Zora.
Tree Boy given a shield. Chest game being a bust.
A friendly neighborhood reminder to always check both chests in the chess game. Dark deciding to make a play in on Thieves Town. While Samura and mfFylion pretty much neck and neck here, racing over to get into the Dark World.
Ooh, and there's the cane.
Yes, we have a Cane of Samaria and sitting inside of Thieves Town. That's a very nice item to find here. So even with Turtle Rock and Mire being both pendants, because if you do have to go in there, you'd hate to have to look for it.
Dig game just being a bomb capacity upgrade.
So Cane of Samaria in the first 4 chests. Looks like Dark Shadow is going to continue on and check the back half of Thieves Town right now. Even does have the blue mail and 2.5 hearts. Going to be a little risky, but easier to pull off the Master Sword with that little bit of extra reach she's got. Samura striking out on the chess game here. And while we have a second, everyone's running into a couple of locations. Don't forget to give these runners a follow here. They're going to provide you with a good amount of entertainment here for the next 1.5 to 2 hours.
Ooh, Dark Shadow missing that switch.
Ooh, the bomb can be a little rough there. I usually don't see it used as a first rotation. Usually you try the skull first, and then in an emergency you have to fall back to the bomb. Samura cleaning up Village of Outcasts finds Master Sword of their own. And mfFylion is taking a death, unfortunately, while completing the Skullwood scavenger hunt. Ozzy looks to have just also dropped in and be completing his scavenger hunt in Skullwoods for a fat lot of nothing. Samura coming up and finding a cane of her own, or their own. So all of our runners making the V26 play here, and you can't fault them for it. Every one of them deciding, pretty much into Skullwoods. That's where we got to go. First off, get the items there out of the way. Didn't pay off this time, but, do you really blame them?
I can't blame them. I mean, it's one of those things you start to play the logic so many times. It's just more times than often, or more times than not, there's good items there. Why not go there?
Dark Shadow picking up a hammer-locked lunch inside with a burrito in the big chest in Thieves Town. Flylion finding a big key to continue the scavenger hunt. We have the other sword upgrade.
Sword. So we now know where all 4 sword upgrades are.
Indeed, we have one in Village of Outcast, one in Blind Cell, one in the Dark Room and Escape, and the last one being boot locked in the library. Samura1man. That is probably correct, Carissa. Thank you for the correction. That probably is Samura1man. I've been calling him just Samura because I can't read. So Dark Shadow going to go with some Samaria strats in conjunction with Sword here on Blind, while Samurai comes up to open up a hole for some sunlight. And Phylion just heading out after striking out, and ozipone finishing striking out on Skullwoods. Unfortunately, Dark Shadow takes a death to Blind. I mean, it's something you hate to see, but of all the bosses, if you have to take a death to a Dark World boss, Blind's probably the one you want to do it to.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to trek super far back.
Looks like Ozzy's going to clean up some North Dark World here.
Samura1man getting his hot Cheeto sword.
Ah, the hot Cheeto. So many names for it. The ketchup sword, the hot Cheeto sword, the tempura sword.
Dark Shadow taking another death.
That's rough. You know, this is, it does have Cheeto sword, does have Candace Samaria, and half magic, but regardless, this is still 5 heart blue male blind. Those heads and those fireballs do a ton of damage.
Ozzy checking the back of Graveyard. Let's see what treasure's back there.
I really like this play. I feel a lot of people put off back of Graveyard for a long time.
Ooh,
and
mushroom.
Yeah, we have some anxiety. Who wants a fetch quest? We have Samurai coming into the blind fight now. We have 2 blind fights going on simultaneously here. Samurai taking a lot of damage. Does have some safeties, though. Has, I believe, multiple fairies bottled up. Doesn't need him to get to down. Unfortunately, Dark takes a 3rd death to blind.
It looks like they're just going to nope on out of there.
You hate to see it, but there's only so many times you can go against something and then just have to, give it up and come back to it a little bit later with a fresh head. Coming down to the south end of Dark World here, it looks like we're in the digging game. Probably over to Hype Cave, we'll pick up some red mail. That'll be nice for that return to Blind in the future.
Mushroom is not coming through, though. Just 20 rupees.
And we have a 5 bomb capacity upgrade on dig number 6. Not a lot there. Samurai heading in and then actually thinking better of it. Ozzy coming up with a play on Catfish, interestingly enough. Samurai picking up a first shield there. Phylion going ahead and cleaning up into Thieves Town here. Going to be picking up a Master Sword of their own soon.
just a whole lot of love from Catfish.
Just needed somebody to love. We've got Hype Cave checks coming in from Samurai and Dark Shadow, both going to be a little bit pleased to find a mirror and a male upgrade.
Looks like Ozzy's going to do Old Man in the Dark.
You know, I'm really interested that none of our runners made this play earlier. This is a play I would have made a little bit earlier, especially since he took an early Hype Cave and found the mirror. So you can get at least a first check-in on Hera, as long as it's not basement required. Looks like Samurai and Dark Shadow both following about the same path. Can go check and see what's on Pyramid. And it's just a big 20. Falcon. Yes, custom sprites within what is available via the randomizer are allowed. We have 3 of our 4 runners using customized sprites here as well. As far as the actual blind fight itself, there's not a lot of difference in any of the swords. It's going to take 3 hits per phase, 3 phases, so 9 hits with any sword. Samurai and Dark Shadow keeping up their sync here. They're going to go find a lot of love as Felion comes into blind.
20 rupees inside Spectacle Rock. Another thing to note about custom sprites, unless you practice with a specific sprite regularly, some of them actually have different shadows. So that could actually put off some pixel perfect strats.
Yeah, it definitely can. Unless you use the shadow or you practice a lot with that specific one. We have a tablet check, and judging by that, I want to say it's probably the blue boomerang.
I think so.
I did miss what the old man actually gave out, but I think we're going to get a check from Samurai here in a second to pick up on that. Luckily, we have a big key in the basement of Hera, so we're not going to need to go downstairs at the moment.
Ooh, a bee in a bottle.
I believe that's 4.
I do find it interesting, though. 3 out of the 4 runners have swords. 2 of them have tempered sword, and 1 of them doesn't have a sword at all.
Yeah, Ozzy just having a little bit of just the divergence of routing, heading to Northern Dark World instead. Oh, Silvers was off the old man.
That is very nice.
So Dark gonna make a play on Pod here, hoping to find a small key in the first chest. So Samurai checking out their part of the Spectacle Rock and Death Mountain here. Ozzy setting up and getting the bomb jump for a burrito. Fortunately, they do have the small key already, so there is a 50-50 chance, I believe, here of what they're going to get. Samurai, having a tempered sword, will go ahead and pick up a blue boomerang.
No trolls today from Trolldorm.
And unfortunately, there is an item in the basement. It probably plays off to the fact that they're not quite actually supposed to be up here via the logic yet, because they do not have the lamp. And this is really interesting on where the lamp could be at this point. Dark going ahead and finding himself a small key, and will continue on a little bit further into Palace of Darkness.
Just a big heart on Floating Island, so I don't imagine them going back to get that.
Probably not, especially since they do have 4 bottles in red mail. Life is going to be, to a certain point, kind of a luxury for them. Phylion heading over toward a Dark Palace play, or Palace of Darkness, as Samurai cleaning up Tower of Hera, Ozzy dropping in and finding a little bit of love throughout the spiral.
Let's see what's inside Paradox Cave.
Just so far, 2 Pizza Hearts, and we'll see what we find up in the top of the mini Moldorms. Just some money and some more love. That's really unfortunate. So pretty well a bust across from everything as far as Death Mountain was concerned, including Tower of Hera, with the exception of the unknown item in the basement here. We have Dark now checking the dark rooms inside of Palace of Darkness. Finds a big heart in one of them thus far. And I don't think he's even sure what was picked up on the other.
Yeah, it looks like they were taking a few seconds to check the inventory.
So the interesting thing about finding no progression items on Death Mountain is it's not a telltale sign so far of where the lamp could be. But at this point, you have a mirror, you have a hammer, and you have a glove. I'm wanting to say maybe even without a hook shot, an early swamp play.
Yeah, the logic could be accounting for a double dip into swamp.
Samurai picking up some extended love here. I believe it's 3 smalls and a full heart. Dark unfortunately striking out in Palace of Darkness and not finding anything really of progression. So at this point, they've checked what they can in the Eastern, checked what they can in Desert, because they have no fire source. They've checked what they can in Skullwoods without the Fire Rod. They've checked what they can in Pod, between all the runners, of course. I think at this point, Swamp's about the only play left. Ryu, the desert is interesting. It is not boot blocked for Lamolas, but they found no items, and the small key is on the torch. So there's 2 items on the right-hand side and 1 behind Lamola, 3 possible locations for 2 items. Ozzy finally picks up his first sword and is about to pick up a cane to go with it. Dark Shadows going mirrored over after Palace of Darkness will end up picking up his book. And as chat would say, here it comes. Samurai checking the tablet for us. And it's the Titans!
Ooh.
That opens up all kinds of new fun possibilities.
It opens up ice. It opens up, well, it can't do Misery Mire just yet because no flute, but...
So that opens up, but you're absolutely correct. That does open up ice because they do have bombos. So the logic will let them go into ice if they so choose. But doing it with only bombos, it's a thing some people don't like to do, but with Temper Sword it wouldn't be so bad. Samurai on the South of Grove only finding a 5 rupees up there. So yeah, it really comes down to, and let's get your opinion here a little. What do you think? We've got two dungeons primarily open to us right now. We've got Ice Palace, which is completable, and we have Swamp Palace, which is not completable, but in theory could be hoarding more items.
Ooh. I really don't know. However, with getting the Titan's mitts, Turtle Rock is open though, to a point.
Turtle Rock's still a sequence break.
Oh, that is true.
No flute, or they have no flute. They have no lamp. So technically, they're still missing those items, or one of those items per the logic. Definitely missing probably at least a flute here. Although this may not be flute required. Samurai checking out some hammer pegs. Now with these Titan's mitts, is going to go ahead and return to Blacksmith.
I think the play will be Ice Palace.
If they strike out on all these, on the high roll Uber service here between the Blacksmith and the Lunchbox, yeah, I definitely think the play is Ice Palace. And we have Flute Smiths.
Ooh.
So we have mfFylion taking on Swamp, which I can't really blame them for because of the large amount of items in there. Ozzy going ahead and finishing up Thieves Town, while Dark picking up silvers from the sequence break from the Old Man.
It looks like we're gonna have a Swag Duck appearance.
Absolutely, all rise. So Swag Duck is now free, and I believe it plays immediately Flute to 6.
Do you know if we got a peek at the ledge on desert?
I do believe we did. I don't think it was anything of value. I think it was the piece of hard ore, some rupees, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yes, lamp is always required. Will always be required by the logic simply because of the amount of dungeons that have dark rooms. A lot of people can a lot of racers and runners of this game, especially the randomizer, can do the dark rooms without the lamp, with the notable exception being Agnum's Tower. Dark Shadow picking up a Bloomerang of his own. Samurai picks up some drugs in the back of the graveyard. Can go turn them in for money if they so choose at a later time, so we know. Ozzy about to be rewarded with some Titan's Mitts from the Bombos tablet. Don't think he was expecting that. Kind of paused for a second of, wait, what just happened? What do I do now? Samurai taking the flute to 6, Phylion getting ready to tackle the dreaded west side of Swamp.
Oh, we also have Checkerboard Cave open to us, too.
Absolutely. So here we go with Mire Shed. Let's see if we have anything loaded into here. Once again, 2 chests side by side, just some matched lovers. Ozzy headed down. Can only assume that he may be probably going to pick a blacksmith and hopefully a flute soon thereafter. Unfortunately, Dark taking a fall to Troll Dorm.
Looks like Samurai's opting to turn in their mushroom.
Yep, finally, unfortunately, striking out inside of Swamp Palace, completing everything, but no hookshot located, no other items seems located as well. Dark picking up his crystal from Hera, unfortunately now realizing there is an item in the basement. So here we are about 55 minutes, and it seems we have a little bit of a caveman seed going on. All of our runners still trying to look for and discover fire.
Mm-hmm. Ozzy about to get his swag duck flute.
Gonna be rewarded with a flute of his own, so he can take some fast travel around Hyrule. Samurai deciding on bombosing his way for fun and profit through Ice Palace. Dark Shadow cleaning up on Spiral Cave as Ozzy's going to go ahead and free the duck and probably flute down to 7 to deliver the lunchbox and complete the Uber section of his seed.
Ooh, the ice rod. Inside Ice Palace.
Ice Rod inside of Palace inside of Ice Room. Just the perfect irony setup. A little bit of trouble in the Penguin Room. Oh, and the hook shot. What a thing to leave in your lunchbox.
So all 3 Uber quests have paid off.
Absolutely. You can deliver an old man and he'll tip you with some shadows. The blacksmith tips you with a flute, and the lunchbox gives up the hook shot. And it's really strange seeing all 3 of those different things pay off. The only thing that didn't actually pay off out of this is the fetch quests for the one that we found. Samurai opting not to bomb jump, just going to go ahead and do a full standard clear here of Ice Palace. No real reason if you're still looking for items, but it is always helpful.
Looks like Ozzy's going into Swamp, but is probably going to be... Well, they have hook shots, so they'll be able to clear it.
And this is a much better play with hookshot, unlike when mfFylion went through. This is going to be, if anything is in there, Fire Rod comes to mind. That's going to be huge.
Boots, perhaps?
Could be boots. Boots could not even be required, actually, since we found some sort of upgrades elsewhere. Finally, dropping off, taking money from the illicit deal, picking up a potion while he's there.
Looks like they're going to check Catfish, too.
It's actually a little... Especially having already checked everything else at Zora, seeing so many people route Catfish in so what I would consider early is kind of interesting. Now, if you're already, going that way to drop off the mushroom, that's one thing. But even earlier on, I saw a lot of early Catfish checks. Dark has come back for revenge on Blind.
This time with a lot more health and that red mail.
Through phase 2 pretty well. Knows Blind's probably going to go straight down. Oh, nope. Gets the block hit in, gets a second sword, and finally finishes him off. 4th time's a charm for Dark Shadow. Ozzy opting to pass up the west side of Swamp. Little does he know it's a very good play, too. But that anxiety is going to weigh on you a little bit, depending on what you find over here.
Ooh, Samurai Falls lining up that bomb jump.
A little rough there. Now, did Samurai end up mirroring out? Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Finally going into Ice Palace, about to be rewarded with a Ice Rod and Ice Pallets in the Ice Room. Yeah, Samurai mirrored out, probably to get back a little bit quicker. Still finding nothing of extreme value so far. And as I say that, here comes the lamp. So the sequence breaks are now out of the question, including the silvers, which was pretty much the last one we had on Samurai's side, due to the old man being hidden in the dark. More importantly, Samurai-Man is our first of our 4 runners in these 2 races to discover fire.
Ooh, and a small key in the big chest.
Do believe if I've been watching correctly, that could mean that there is definitely something on Cold Stare. Ozzy finish is into Argus, just taking care of this real quick, even with the Master Sword needing the 2 swings per puff. Samurai dropping into Cold Stare, immediately dropping the Bombos.
Doing a pretty good job of keeping keeping Cold Stare in the corner.
Ozzy cleaning up on Swamp House, and I believe picking up the Fighter Shield for the troubles. Yeah, Fire Shield. Looks like Phylion's opting to go directly to Cold Stare. Does not. I don't see a lamp having been picked up over there yet.
I don't believe so either. But however, with Samurai having that lamp, do you think they'll go back to Hera?
It looks like not as of yet. Possibly looking at Meyer again? Or no, gonna take the back way into Desert and finish it.
Oh.
Gonna pick up maybe 1 item? There's a 66% chance they pick up an item? Finally, run into some trouble in Cold Stare. Managed to pop a blue potion there. Ozzy on Swamp Palace Revisited, checking West Side after all. So at this point, we're now just a little over an hour in. We're still missing Fire Rod. We're still missing Bow. 3 of our runners are missing Hookshot, not knowing it's in the lunchbox. And the boots are always that 1 in 22 question.
Yeah. I'm thinking boots will be in Hookshot Cave.
Very interesting possibility there. With I don't believe anybody's checked any part of the dark side, even though we do have 3 runners with mitts now. Samurai cleaning up a pretty limitless fight and finding a compass, which means both items in Desert are boot locked, and we don't know what they are.
That's quite unfortunate.
So finally on a revisit of Ice Palace after downing Cold Stare. Samurai looks to be headed toward the pod area, which unfortunately isn't going to yield a lot.
Well, they might actually do, they might mirror right at the front and then check Eastern.
I'm pretty sure everybody's already been through Eastern as far as they can.
Oh, you know, you are right.
But I can't fault Samurai here when your options are down between Swamp, which you don't have Hookshot for, Darkness, which you don't have Bow for. So Ozzy headed back over toward Death Mountain. Dark Shadows finishing up. Yeah, Dark Shadows finally finishing up and getting out of Swamp Palace. Now, one thing we haven't really covered here, because we've been focused on dungeons, because this is V26. V26 is very much a dungeon-oriented seed, or set of seeds, rather. Is there anywhere in the overworld that we've really been overlooking? I don't believe so, outside of our runners not making a play until it looks like right now on ozipone side for the Dark World side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, I can't really think of any overworld spots.
Finally picking up the big key in Ice Palace as Samurai cleaning up the back half pod. Dark Shadows heading down toward the Swamp Palace area, probably over to check Bombo's tablet. Ozzy very immediate to give us our checks on Super Bunny chests. So Dark picks up his mitts. Ozzy strikes out on the Super Bunny chest and is going to head up and use his hook shot inside the cave at the top here to check about 4 more chests and probably get a look at, just in case, at the requirements for Turtle Rock.
Oh, the bow.
The bow is inside of Hookshot Cave. That is interesting.
That opens up 2 more dungeons.
That opens up the actual completion of Palace of Darkness and the completion of Eastern. Unfortunately, Eastern being a pendant, and I don't think we've had a pedestal check, but yeah, it's definitely one of the items they were definitely needing to find here, and it's hidden behind the lunchbox as well. Yolan, the lunchbox is a pet name that we've given to a purple chest that's located in a ruined house where the blacksmiths are located in the light world. In the vanilla game, its flavor is that the key is locked inside it, and the only person in the game who could open it is basically a mute thief who lives near the desert in the light world. Ozzy, with the newfound bow, opening up Palace of Darkness, I think we can actually go through and complete it.
Looks like Samurai is going to go check the basement of Hera.
Can't fault. There's an item there. We can only imagine what it could be at this point. How about Lamp from Ice Palace leads to Boots in Basement of Hera, leads to Fire Rod on the east side of Desert Palace.
Goodness, you monster.
After what I've had to put through in some of these races, they can suffer as well. At least their bow wasn't on Laser Bridge. No, we have not seen Spike Cave done yet. I believe a lot of that's going to rely on we haven't seen either of the invincibility items come up yet. And even with four bottles, nobody's really loaded up enough to go check it because usually the game does expect you to have a safety.
The logic as of recently takes into consideration, or it doesn't take into consideration. It actually requires you to, or I shouldn't say requires, it expects you to have one of those two items. So doing Spike Cave without either the cane or the cape would technically be a sequence break. And only a quarter heart in the basement of Hera.
Now, Dark Shadow picked up powder, it looks like.
Yes.
Was that from Desert?
That was from the right side of Desert.
Did he mirror in a specific spot from near Mire to get to that side of Desert?
I believe so.
I had completely forgot you could pull that off. Or he grabbed the key from the boss area. That's what he did. He sequence broke it with the key from the boss area. So at this point, Dark is kind of gonna be in trouble until he finds the boots.
I do have Samurai opening up Turtle Rock.
I would open it up if you're already there and opening the portal up. Going into it without a fire rod, where you can only really check one chest, that's a bold strategy, Cotton.
But it looks like that's what's going on.
So Samurai taking the gamble on Green Pendant Turtle Rock without a fire rod and only access to one chest.
This could either be a really, really good item or a really, really terrible item.
Dark Shadow about to pick up the flute and is very happy. 50 rupees, and we're done.
Not worth it.
So it's looking more and more like Myers the play.
Yeah.
Ozzy is struggling through these dark rooms a little bit because has not managed to go and pick up the lamp.
Batman only given 5 rupees.
Kind of a punishing reward for that, but that's what we go through when we get those fetch quests. Only fetch quest we're still missing at this point would be the shovel, and who knows where that might be. My bet's on Ganon's Tower.
I don't know. I really like to see shovel at dig game, but we already know what's at dig game, so.
Samurai picking up the Super Bunny chest, but unfortunately has not done the lock chest. It does not have the hook shot to go get the bow. Fortunately, we see a flute to 3 from Samurai, hopefully going into the Dark World and finishing up the Uber section of their journey. Ozzy finally getting through the dark rooms, and I believe is cleared out and will now head toward Helmassar. And Phylion is on his way up to pick up his third crystal from Tower of Hera. Looks like he's going to go ahead and do a vanilla drop into the big chest. Doesn't want to risk the bomb jump and falling down the floors. Samurai looks like it actually did not take the V26 play on Skullwoods. Dark Shadow, however, did pick up the lunchbox and will be dropping it off very, very happily.
And there's Dark Shadow's hookshot.
Oh, Phylion taking a fall to Troll Dorm. That's gonna be rough. Samurai just jamming on that flute for us. Ozzy attempting to kill some turtles in the dark. That's really challenging. Usually, if you're going in there dark, you're hoping you have the fire rod so you can at least light a torch and make that a lot easier. Phylion finishes up and picks up a third crystal from Tower of Hera. As Dark Shadow takes a return trip in to finish up Swamp Palace. Ozzy finally is our first runner on the Helmasaur fight.
And those silver arrows making quick work of the Helmasaur King.
Third time's charm. Go ahead and sink one into the head and through that fight. And unfortunately, we'll get a pedestal check, but it is just couch cash. Speaking of cash, big 20 off of Helmasaur. Samurai heading back in the village of Outcast. Could this finally be the check for the chest?
Really hope so.
Yep, headed that direction. That's the only play that really they left in that section. Gonna grab that chest and finally pick up a hookshot from it. Ozzy making a play into Ice Palace. Gonna go ahead and find their ice rod sitting in there. So finally, finishing up, or finally getting around to the east side of Death Mountain. Dark Shadow still coming up to finish up the last up to Argus inside of Swamp Palace. Ozzy just getting into and starting what's probably going to be a pretty long dive into Ice Palace to clear it out fully. Samurai seems to be heading right to Swamp as well, and with that newly found hookshot. Now, between all of our runners, we've had a good section of everything checked here. And us as viewers, commentators, trackers, we know at this point the only things that really haven't been checked is if there's an item on Armos, which I'm not 100% sure if there was or not, if they found 3.
Yeah, I can't really remember.
I know they picked up book, and I know they picked up a book and a piece of heart. I don't know if they picked up something else there as well. But basically what it comes down to is the play is pretty much got to be Meyer for the Fire Rod. Yeah, boots somewhere in a inaccessible location like Vitreous or something would be really not a good thing for our runners. I think a really bad thing would be boots somewhere inside of Turtle Rock, and especially for Dark, that would be an absolute tragedy at this point. Samurai a little bit unhappy with just finding the hookshot, it looks like, and is just rage bombing everything in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it looks like it, or maybe they just don't like Swamp Palace.
Why not both? Ozzy about to pick up a lamp here and be like, but I've already finished Pod. Maybe that will be the kick in the seat, though, that finally gets them in the mire.
It could be. You still have yet to go to Pyramid Fairy, though.
We have yet to go to Pyramid Fairy. And a lot of that's going to be that with the lamp being buried so far in there, even though 3 of our runners have it, only 1 of our runners have actually finished Desert. Although Samurai is finally finishing up Swamp, so we may get a Pyramid Fairy check here in a moment. The Fire Rod could be there. Everything could be there. Interesting setup from Dark Shadow, but got both of the Stalfos at once. Filion is, I think, finally checking the back of Escape and is going to be rewarded with a flaming hot Cheeto of their own.
Sure, they'll be excited for that.
Ozzy dropping into Cold Stare and going for hammer strats here, going with our old low percentage friend. Oh, Ozzy's falling down. Does Ollie? I was gonna say, I think Ozzy's got at least 1 or 2 fairies.
That is fortunate, though.
Ozzy picked up Brian. It looks like I may have missed where that pickup was from.
I didn't even notice that.
So Ozzy collects a crystal off of Cold Stare. Dark Shadow heading into police and some chests they've missed. Or yet to pick up. Looks like Phylion's finally getting around the dude desert, and with the lamp can actually go ahead and complete out the back of it. Samurai finding the big key instantly, heading back for the big chest. I think after that debacle with the hook shot, I don't think they plan on skipping anything until they're in go mode now.
Yeah.
Ozzy headed up toward Pyramid. May not have checked what it was earlier. This may be their first real routing decision over toward the Palace of Darkness area. Oh, Ozzy with a little bit of an unfortunate mirror spot there. Gonna need to slightly correct that.
Ooh, another one again.
So finally making quick work of Lanmos with the Cheeto Sword. Samurai coming in and will be making very quick work of Argus with the Cheeto Sword as well.
Fortunately, not having to constantly swap to the hammer.
Everybody hates the DLC menu, boss. And 2 quick spins should do it. Samurai reward with a fire shield and the crystal. Now they have the option, and the first one of any of our runners here to have the option to check out the Pyramid Ferry to see what's there. Ozzy will be soon joining Samurai as headed back to clean up the back of Desert.
And it looks like they are headed up to Pyramid Ferry.
Not a bad decision at all. At this point, it's between 2 items there and 2 items in Mire. Dark finishing up their Cold Stare fight, picking up yet another crystal. Gonna make them 4.
Now, with Ozzy having the cane, the blue cane, how soon do you think we'll see a spike cave check?
Already having Bow, Turtle Rock being a pendant, Hera already being cleared is going to be one of the last things on his mind. He's cleared everything else up on Death Mountain except for Turtle Rock. That's going to be one of those, if I have to go up there as a last-ditch effort. Already having, I think, checked out 100. Oh, only 105 rupees from the Pyramid Ferry. That's disheartening.
Not quite what they wanted, I'm sure.
Dark Shadow opting to take the 20 after spending about 480 on potions. Filion about to finally get a flute for themselves at an hour 30 in. They're not going to be very... They're going to be relieved to see it, but they're not going to be happy to see it. Samurai headed up to Death Mountain again. This might be a Turtle Rock open. Oh, Samurai has not been up to Hookshot Cave. They just got their hookshot. They're going to find the bow now.
Sure, that'll be nice.
Gonna be nice to find there. Ozzy coming in and finding 120 rupees. Apparently, I can't count. I said 105 the first time.
Looks like Ozzy's gonna go over to Meyer.
Can't fault the play. It's really about the only thing they've got left. Filion and for releasing the Swag Duck, probably immediately summoning the Swag Duck and go turn in a lunchbox to pick up a hook shot for himself. So Dark also cleaning out the Hookshot Cave here. Finally picking up everything for themselves as well. They look to be heading over toward the Hera area. Maybe they haven't checked. Maybe they haven't checked the Ether Tablet yet. No, going in to check the basement for a piece of heart. There we go. Samurai going to go ahead and finish up Palace of Darkness, get that crystal out of the way. Might jump over to Eastern and finish it up as well. Hard to tell. Not really any point to, but...
I mean, Armos could always have something.
No, I'm pretty sure they got all three, thinking back on it.
I know the map was in Big Key Chest. I don't remember where the compass was.
Yeah, I think there may be an... I'm wanting to say there is an item on Armos, because I thought they found the compass early.
I know in the first room was Big Key.
Yeah, I thought it was Big Key, and then the chest over that you can hookshot to was, I thought, compass, and then it was book and... The book and a piece of heart. No. Yeah, they got an item because there was a map in the big chest, if I remember correctly.
Dark is going to do Spike Cave.
He's certainly got the potions for it. Yeah, I believe that we just missed the fire rod and mire because Ozzy is now immediately out and headed back over towards Skull Woods.
Spike Cave just having a quarter heart.
it just, I think a lot of the runners don't like to go to Spike Cave. It just feels so bad to do. You're either giving up all your hearts or all your magic.
And it's kind of tedious.
So it looks like Ozzy, I believe, pieced out immediately after finding Fire Rod.
I can't blame him.
And it looks like Dark's about to make that same play. Nope, just gonna head back and finish up the desert first. And check the shed and the checkerboard. So I do believe, as we haven't said it already, once he found that Fire Rod and dipped out, the reason being he is in go mode at about an hour and a half here after finally finding that Fire Rod.
And Mafia only having the map.
But more importantly, having that 7th crystal.
They're probably gonna mosey on their way up to Ganon's tower.
Definitely gonna head up to Ganon's tower here, and quite unfortunately here, that's gonna be big. Opening up a couple crystal lead on Dark Shadows, who unfortunately, due to taking a gamble on a sequence break, has to find the boots before they can go into Ganon's tower. Samurai finishing up Helmassar King, picking up their 6th crystal. And Phylion finishing up Argus to pick up his 5th. Also opens up the 120 rupee ferry if he so chooses. Dark deciding to bust out Ether here it does work on. I didn't know that worked on Wizrobes. So Dark's going to give us probably a full clear of Mire here in order to see what that second item is. Samurai, sure enough, is going to go ahead and show us what's hiding behind the Armos Knights. Finally, I'm picking up his large bomb. He's going to go pick up 120 rupees of his own. Alright, it's time for everybody's favorite game. Ozzy's headed over to Ganon's tower. There are 22 chests in Ganon's tower. Which one of them will have the big key? And if any of you say 3 because it's going to be on Torch, you're the true Masters of Troll.
Where do you think it'll be, Demon?
3. It's on the Torch.
Oh.
I hope it's on the Torch.
You know, I secretly want it to be on the Torch also, but I have a feeling it's going to be right side chest number 2.
It would finally be a mercy if it was. Finally on disappointed with 120 rupees. Samurai coming into the fight with the Armos. On the right side we have a small key and a small key.
Well, there goes my guess.
Yeah, unfortunately we get a red pendant backing up a red rupee from the Armos. Ozzy going ahead and just going with standard find a key, go right side.
I wonder if we'll find boots in Ganon's tower.
I don't think you can because of the whole stealing a key thing while being a sequence break. I think it's accounted for in the possibility of soft locking. Looks like Dark found both items. I don't see anything else. I saw the fire rod. I didn't see anything else big of value. Meaning that Dark, unfortunately, has a visit to Turtle Rock in his future. Oh my god!
Wow.
The boots are required!
To those of you who said 3, congratulations. You probably frustrated these runners very much.
Ozzy is going to full clear Ganon's tower, not realizing that the boots can't be in here.
Well, we know boots aren't at Eastern.
We know they're not need. There's the only one place left. They're in Turtle Rock. That is, oh man.
That was really mean.
I need to stop commentating like this. This is about the 3rd seed. I've just absolutely jinxed the runners. Yes. Meyer, while not full cleared, both items have been obtained out of it by Dark. It was the fire rod and another one that was, I believe it was just either a heart piece or a root piece or something small.
If we get Ozzy in for an interview, we just won't tell him that you wanted the big key to be on the torch.
I've got no idea what you're talking about. Samurai also with the ether strats. Ozzy found a shovel and a riot shield. Dark cleaning up his Mothula fight here. Gonna pick up his 5th. And finishing it rather handily. And Samurai gets a fire rod and ducks out. Oh, vanilla boots. Whoever said vanilla boots, that's even worse than boots in Turtle Rock. Come on.
Wow.
Ozzy may not know about the Desert Soft Lock, but it's just something about knowing the logic of the game. If there is a key on the torch, if there's a small key on the torch in Desert, then the boots cannot be in Ganon, and it's required. It's a crystal. The boots can't be in Ganon's tower because of the possibility of soft lock otherwise.
Boots also cannot be at the shovel spot, can they?
No, because the shovel is in Ganon's tower. Ozzy, I wonder if he's realizing it. Dark checks pedestal is disappointed with cash. Looks like the second item in Meyer was bombs from the big chest, from the big key chest, rather. Ozzy headed into escape, having skipped that the first time. Not gonna find his boots, but is gonna be rewarded with a Cheeto. So Dark heading over toward Pod. Gonna go ahead and actually, I'm not sure what he's gonna do over toward Pod. I don't. Our tracker says he still doesn't have the bow, and I don't recall him going up to pick it up after getting the hook shot.
He could be hoping for bow in Pod. Well, it looks like they've actually already been to Pod.
Yeah, they've already cleared out most of it, I believe, unless we may be incorrect on the bow. Samurai with a clutch cleanup there onto Mothula. Is rewarded with a burrito, Crystal 7, and soon to be rewarded with disappointment. Oh, he does have the bow. He did go back up the hookshot cave then. Great. Samurai with a flute to 1, and soon to start the assault up the mountain, unfortunately. MfFylion going to go ahead and get the Mothula out of the way as well. Ozzy's avoiding Turtle Rock at all costs. Going to go in here and find 20 rupees off the Armos Knights very shortly.
mfFylion with the nice takedown on Mothula.
Absolutely. Very clean, crisp for Crystal 6 for him. Oh, Dark, unfortunately, got all the way down and realized I didn't have a small key.
Ooh, not good.
This seed just doing absolutely everything in its power to troll all of our runners.
Now, I wonder when Samurai gets to the torch room in Ganon's tower, do you think they'll leave straight away, or do you think they'll continue?
Honestly, the entire set of logic gates that's telling you, if Crystal Desert Palace has small key on torch, then Boots cannot be in Ganon's tower, is something you probably aren't thinking of in the middle of a race. So I've got a feeling that Samurai's also going to go ahead and full clear out here.
And there they see the key.
And they continue.
Quite unfortunate. They're fully expecting to find Boots here.
Yeah, they're fully expecting to find Boots in here, and they're going to be extremely sadly disappointed on that. Again, it's just one of those things where you don't really consider it, especially like I said, in the middle of a race. It's kind of like, we had Willard commentating a race recently where he was going over, knowing which chests exactly are considered bow locked inside of Pod.
Looks like Ozzy's headed back to Skull Woods. They are really trying to not go into Turtle Rock. Oh, no, they're actually checking Pedestal.
They're checking Pedestal. I believe Ozzy may have checked it already, but just double checking it at this point. mfFylion's going to go ahead and finally check Hookshot Cave and be our fourth runner to pick up the bow. Samurai going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of something out of the firebar room, then find a shovel and a riot shield inside the rando room. Ozzy finding the second item being the full heart container out of the Skull Woods. Fyllion fluting out from the top of Death Mountain, over to 5 to probably finish up Pod. So Dark is opting to clear out the remainder of one item in Pendant Eastern, rather than head over toward Palace of Dark. No, actually, I thought they finished Palace of Darkness up already. Either way, this is probably one of the best plays, especially with Desert being locked out to them. Yeah, I think Dark grabbed a key and then just decided to go over and do Eastern real quick, and then it's probably gonna head back. Ozzy realizing what the play is, and then very sadly opening Turtle Rock.
Now, where in Turtle Rock do you think the boots are?
They're on Laser Bridge. I think they're on Laser Bridge, or they're vanilla with an outside chance of Mimic Cave.
I'm really hoping for boots to be at Trinex.
Samurai, unfortunately, finishing up the left side and opting out. And going back in, probably check the other side.
They're perhaps going to go check Tile Room.
Fyllion coming up to finish off Palace of Darkness. Dark headed up Death Mountain. Can only really be the Turtle Rock. So Ozzy would have picked up his 50 from the first chest. We're going to get our first look at the next chest here inside of Turtle Rock to see if we got anything. Big key and small key. Down we go. Oh, Samurai getting grabbed right at the end of the tower room.
Quite unfortunate. But it looks like they're going to head...
Oh, they're going to head back into Mire.
They really don't want to do Turtle Rock, I bet.
Nobody does. Nope, flew to 3. And even further down we go. Samurai may have missed a couple small overworld locations they're going to go ahead and pick up on here.
Oh, looks like they're going to check the dig spot, actually.
And they probably don't realize it can't be there, but we're going to at least find out what is there, what's dirty. Oh, full heart container.
I'm sure they're a little frustrated.
I mean, at this point, you're an hour plus in, you get into Ganon's tower, and you realize it's boot locked. Ozzy's still striking out so far. Next up we have Mimic Cave and the big chest. So at this point, Fillion's going to be heading up to, unfortunately, learn the bad news and gain his tower. Samurai heading over to Turtle Rock. Ozzy still looking for some boots, as is Dark. Samurai with just a little bit of an advantage here from having been in here once already. And Mimic Cave holds. Just an arrow upgrade.
Not nice.
So we are down to an we're down to a pretty close race between Samurai and Filion. Samurai has a full clear on Ganon's tower, other than the small key or the large key on the torch. Filion is about to go in and get said knowledge. It's going to come down to whether Filion realizes that the boots cannot be in Ganon's tower to make up time on Samurai. Dark and Ozzy are both looking for the boots as well, both inside of Turtle Rock, of course. Unfortunately, Ozzy has already completed Desert Palace and full cleared Ganon's tower, so Dark's going to need a little bit of help and execution up the remainder of the game to catch up there. And there are the boots in the last roller room.
Ozzy is just noping right out of there.
Oh, I cannot blame him at all. He's noping out, and he's going to mirror out, and once again, we're in go mode. I mean, at that point, though, would it almost have been faster to backtrack through the first half of the dungeon?
I don't know.
I mean, it's realistically only about 5 rooms. Although you do have to walk back through train shops. Oh, Filion skipped the chest inside a hookshot cave. I did not realize that. So Ozzy, with his newfound dashing ability, is going to go ahead and head back into Ganon's tower. About a 3-second dip to left side, and then attacking up the gauntlet.
Should be relatively quick.
And there it is. He's got the key, and up we go.
While we have a few minutes, though, I would like to give a huge thank you to our restreamer, Alvi, and both of our trackers, Jeremy and Flaffy. You guys have done a great job this entire time.
Definitely. They've been doing an amazing job here, keeping track of, 4 different, all the runners and everything that they've been picking up here. Also, if you haven't already, give these runners a follow. They've been through heck and back for you for this seed. So Dark picking up his boots. He's now in go mode, and he's going to be fluting out the 6 to head over to Desert. And we're going to have Samurai and Go mode here in about 5 seconds or so. So Samurai is out of Turtle Rock and headed back over at about 2 hours and 1 minute here. Samurai also intelligently walking the rest of the way over so that they could jump off and then go right back up into the Dark World. Pretty nice gauntlet execution from Ozzy here. Just got to pick up and finish off. Oh, having a little bit of trouble. Probably hitting that 3rd silver on Lammo, too. Raven, Dark Shadow took the key from the second half to go back and unlock the right-hand side of Desert when the small key was on the torch. It is something you can do, and the logic accounts for the inability that you can't soft lock because of it, but it is definitely a sequence break. Ozzy through and up, doing some torches here, and about to locate the last key he needs. As Dark finally picks up his 7th crystal. Samurai starting their gauntlet assault. mfFylion is probably about a minute away or 30 seconds away from the boots and about 2 minutes away from being back in Ganon's tower.
I will say, Boots being in Turtle Rock and Key being on Torch has made this a very close race.
It really has, yes.
Ooh,
Ozzy,
no validation chest.
Ozzy passing up the last chest, lovingly known by all of us as the validation chest. At this point, he feels like he's too far behind. He knows he's got to. Dark actually opting for butter. He goes back and picks up butter from the library. Raven, yes, it is. This, I would probably safely say this is a 2-hour seed. Quick recap for those of you just joining us as Ozzy comes into Aghanim 2. We'll actually let him finish this up real quick. Nice 2 hits there on a little bit of an awkward angle. And 2 more hits putting him down. So Ozzy will be heading into the Ganon fight here just at about 2:05 even. So on top of the 7 crystals, we had Fire Rod and Pendant Mire. We had Required Boots and Pendant Turtle Rock. And we also had Book, which I don't believe was required, but was sitting in Pendant Eastern. Samurai finishing up land mode 2 and is going to be headed in. mfFylion finally getting his boots, and he's going to go ahead and head over toward Ganon's tower now. Ozzy starting the Ganon fight with Tempered Sword is going to be 12-12 and then 4 arrow shots. I was going to have to be a little careful. He just ran out of magic here, but he does have fairies and Gringo.
Looks like he's going to opt for Cape Straps.
Oh, half a heart. Don't let that hit you.
I do believe Ozzy has a fairy, though.
He does have a fairy, but it's not something you want to see go right now. You don't want to even have to get to that point. Ganon doing a good version of his Dancing with the Stars with about 8 teleports there between those. Dark just casually picking up the big key off the torch. Oh, I needed this. Samurai gotta be careful. Only half a heart here. Ozzy losing the last half heart. Here comes the fairy.
Ooh, getting the double.
Nice double. And that is down for Ozzy. He's going to be going ahead and winning our Group A race.
He's finished first place with a time of 2:07:32.
GG to Ozzy. Samurai coming into Aghanim 2 with a half a heart. Nice triple. And manages to clean up Aga 2. That's huge because even if Samurai doesn't have a fairy and dies, is now at the Ganon fight. Gonna go ahead and see if Ozzy would like to come in for an interview. Samurai trying to half heart this whole fight. Meanwhile, Dark Shadows clearing out land mode 2, and this is continuing up. Filling coming into the torch rooms. Ganon dancing around with Samurai. Nice one cycle on those Wizard Rope Room by Dark Shadows. And we should be joined by Ozzy here in just a moment. And we are now joined by ozipone. GG, sir.
Congratulations. We also have Samura1man finishing first in his group with a time of 2:10:31.
GG to Samurai. Meanwhile, Dark Shadows coming up on Mole Arm 2, finishing it off pretty quickly. Phylon coming up and into the Aga 2 fight. All right, and we are now also joined by Samura1man, winner of the Group V race that we are currently watching. GG.
GG.
I want to just say, what was that seed?
It was a lot of trolls.
It was such a trolls.
Now, when you got to Ganon's tower and saw the big key on the torch, were you expecting Boots to be in Ganon's tower?
I was thinking there might be an item, and that will lead me outside of the cannon's tower. Then I was getting caught by the hand in a tile room. I was like, just screw that, let's just check the overworld quickly. Then I just had some ideas to go to Turtle Rock since he had most of the chests that I didn't check. But when I was... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
When I saw the big key on a torch, I was like, no way, I need the boots. Where are the boots? I wasn't in a go mode then, since I needed two still.
Yeah, it was definitely very interesting seeing that happen. We had a very interesting scenario pop up where both you and Ozzy, from our winner with us from the Group A race, were full cleared Ganon's tower. However, due to the logic constraints, the boots actually had no chance of being in Ganon's tower.
I see, yeah.
The reason on that being because there is a small torch, or a small key on the torch in Crystal Desert, so it's impossible for them to be in there due to softlock concerns.
Yeah, I was thinking it cannot be in there, since I had two chests that I never checked, and those were behind the small key. So I just had the idea, maybe Myre, since I didn't check one chest there. I had one chest that I didn't check. Well, just with an item, I mean. Then Turtle Rock was in my mind all the time.
All right, but very good, very well played overall. It was very interesting. You did have a little bit of a lead. Fyllion decided to go ahead and come out after seeing the big key and go straight into Turtle Rock then. Fyllion has also finished, and has finished with a race time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 13 seconds. So GG to him as well here. So other than the boots here, and obviously where you had, the purple chest having hook shot, the fire rod and mire, just the whole seed overall.
Yeah, I was thinking going to Myre, then at one point I was thinking I don't have a hook shot, so I cannot get there. Then I was thinking, well, I have the purple chest left, so I have to just check it. I wanted to leave it for a while because I wasn't thinking it would have anything good, because I haven't had any seeds having purple chest. Purple chest never had me anything good, but this time it had hook shot.
We have Dark Shadow finishing in second place for his group with an official time of 2:14:58. GG.
All right, we're going to be joined by both of our other two racers here in just a moment. All right. And mfFylion is now joining us. GG, sir.
Yo, GG.
So, how about them boots?
You know what? That wasn't too bad with the boots. I figured based on the way the chests were set up in Desert that the boots couldn't be in Ganon's tower. So as soon as I saw it was on the torch, I just said, okay, I'm going to check the closest dungeon.
Interesting play.
And that's absolutely correct play. And you did make up a good bit of ground on Samurai with that play, because Samurai did end up full clearing GT before ducking out to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I
was to check the right side actually. I was in a dull room, then I got caught by a hand, and I just left the tower.
Yeah,
that was kind of tragic to watch.
I flat out forgot about the Smiths for way too long, and when they had two of the three items I needed to finish, that was pretty bad.
I held the purple chest for too long, and that had the hook shot.
Yeah, that hurt. Out of curiosity, did you find Berna or the cape anywhere?
I found the Burna, and the cape was in a Cannon's Tower. Burna was in a... where was it? Was it in a darkness?
Okay, it might have been the one chest in darkness. I didn't check.
Yeah, it was probably there, since it kind of led me to check the spike cave, which had nothing else but a heart piece.
Yeah, I kept wanting to check Spike Cave, but I couldn't.
All right.
I thought things were very weird when I got into Myra and found the fire rod at a spot where I was supposed to have a safety item. But, well fought.
All right, and we are also joined by DarkShadows59. GG to you as well.
GG, sir.
Hey, thanks.
So, you were actually, even with all of these other runners, you were a little bit ahead of the curve here because you needed to find boots before they did.
Really?
Because you managed to, because you key locked yourself out of Desert Palace, they were already in Ganon's Tower when they saw it on the big torch and realized that.
Out of curiosity, Filion, did you have a temperate sword?
I had tempered. Yeah, I got it from Castle Basement.
Yeah, I went through that actually blind. I didn't had a lantern. When
I
went through
almost did, but all I had was hammer at the time, and I said, no, I can't do this. And now I'm wishing I had, because I wandered around without a sword for a while.
Yeah, I want the sword pretty early there, then I found it later. It's Master Sword in a Thieves Town. Temperate was in a... Where was the Temperate? But none after that, I got 3 upgrades. I don't know where the fourth one was, but I didn't want to get it. It wasn't a...
I thought we were going to get really, really early boots. Because
Actually, too.
because of that sword, and also because of Desert Palace. So it was kind of funny to not find boots until the very end.
Yeah, that is... I was in a Cannon's Tower and I was like, oh, the key on a torch? Nice. What a see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost made the right side gamble, and now I realized, oh, I should probably go left to get that key, and then saw the key on the torch, and it's like, I'm probably far behind.
To be fair, you were pretty a good bit behind there, but when everything happened with the boots, you made a lot of ground up. You were about 2.5 crystals behind at one point, and you ended up not very far behind at all. You were in Ganon's Tower when he was just finishing up, so it was a ton of ground to made it up.
Yeah, at the end there, after I finished Desert, I figured if I'm behind, I need every edge I can get. So I went to Kakariko and got that gold sword.
You were the only one that went ahead and opted for that, but you know, I'm just such a tease seeing a sword sitting in library and the very last item that you find being boots.
Kind of glad I did the early Dark Escape to at least have a sword for a while. I think I had Master before I entered a dungeon.
I have it too, actually. I went through the server to get a sword. No lantern.
I'm pretty sure everybody was pretty well up on swords. I know, Phil, you ended up not getting tempered until pretty late there when you went to check Dark Escape, and Ozzy actually didn't have a sword until hitting Village of Outcasts and got the one from Village of Outcasts and the one from Thieves Town. But very well played to all of you. It was very entertaining to both watch and to commentate for. It was a great race.
It was
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
One seed. Really trolly, but one.
I'm sure I'll be watching to see what everyone else did throughout this race.
Yeah, I think if I didn't have as many problems to blind, I would have been in a lot closer race.
Yeah, you definitely had a couple stumbles early, but you definitely came back and got your revenge there for him.
Well, any other questions, guys?
I wonder where was the powder?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
The powder was located on the powder was actually located on the east side of Desert. Dark found it when he stole the key from the back half.
Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, the magic bat didn't have much. I think it was bombs or a big 20.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay,
bombs.
yeah.
All right, well, if
Thanks
that's
for commentating this, guys.
Oh, thank you for letting us commentate.
I don't make that call, but you're welcome, I guess.
Thank you for the commentary and a race, guys. And every streamer.
If that's it, I guess we'll bring this race to a conclusion. Congratulations, everyone. You had an excellent race, and we will catch you guys later.
Absolutely. Once again, I am Demon RHK, and joined by my commentary partner.
I am Little Gabes.
Remember to give your runners, your restreamer, and your commentators a little bit of shameless self-plug, as well as all of our trackers here at follow. And everybody have a great day. We've got a lot more Link to the Past randomizer action coming up for you.
Have a nice afternoon, everyone.